Yeah, we got some news coming out of Boulder, Colorado on Tarvarish Dawson and Bishop Thomas. But when you come across this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And if it's your first time on the platform and you're new to my channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Well, today's video, man, we're going to be talking about Tarvarish Dawson and Bishop Thomas. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by our new sponsor, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek, the official sponsor of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the #1 rated ticketing app, over 28 million downloads, 70,000 plus events from concerts to sports, all your tickets across the web, all in one place, rated 1 to 10. Green means good, red means bad, and all your tickets are backed by your buyer's guaranteed. And remember, use my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout to get $20 off your purchase.
And just know, when you use my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout, you're not only getting yourself a good deal, you're also supporting the channel. Well, let's get right off into it. Well, you know, the news has been always about Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes and what they have done in the transfer portal and the guys that are committing to Colorado. Now that they have all their new commits in and their transfers, 34 new players, the spring is approaching us. And, you know, Colorado has been getting prepared for the upcoming spring football. We've seen the videos, shout off to Well Off Media for, you know, giving us the insight on their military training, their workout program, everything that they're doing in their early morning practices to get in shape and prepare for this upcoming season. But as they prepare for the upcoming season, their information has come out about their wide receiver, Tarvarish Dawson. Now, Tarvarish Dawson, if you guys remember now, so Tarvarish Dawson, he's 5'10", he's 165 pounds, he's a sophomore. Now, Tarvarish Dawson played in 7 games last year in the 2023 season. He started 4. He made his first career start in week 2 at home against Nebraska. Now, in that start, you know, he started 4 straight games. Also, he registered 14 receptions, 124 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown to go along with 1 carry for 8 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground. His breakout game came against Nebraska, where he had 3 receptions for 41 yards and a 30-yard catch to give his first touchdown of his career. The second half gave him his first career rushing touchdown on a reverse for 8 yards. Now, noticeably, he's missing from the spring roster. A lot of people have been hitting me up asking me what's the deal on Tarvarish Dawson. And, you know, there's information out there that, you know, he's just not part of the spring football roster. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but once we get more information, we can talk about that. But right now, we just know that he's missing from the spring roster. Now, also, a lot of guys been asking about the status of Bishop Thomas. Now, you know, Bishop Thomas is the big defensive tackle. Now, Bishop Thomas, he was suspended. Now, the thing about Bishop Thomas, he was suspended indefinitely. So I did a show on that, you know, covering the suspension. So basically, you know, the article stated Colorado Buffaloes defensive tackle Bishop Thomas was suspended indefinitely for violating team rules before the end of the 2023 football season. No official announcement was made by the team, but the final show credit in the Amazon Videos docuseries, Coach Prime, said Thomas was suspended and his status for next season was still being evaluated by Deion Sanders and his coaching staff. The original 4-star from Florida State 2022 recruiting class decided to come to Boulder as part of last year's surge via the transfer portal. Thomas is noted as a 6'2", 300-pounder from Orlando, Florida, who played 9 games for the Buffs last season and recorded 17 defensive snaps with 6 tackles, 2 for loss, and a fumble recovery. Now, we all know who Bishop Thomas is, man. Bishop Thomas is one of the, nimble big guys that can get up and down that football field. And we saw in the game last year on special teams on the kickoff return that he got down the field and he lit the kickoff returner up. It was a big hit. Everybody was pumped about that. But we see that Bishop Thomas has been added to that spring roster. Now, that's going to be a major, upgrade for the Colorado Buffaloes defensive line. Now, that defensive line that the Colorado Buffaloes are, bringing into that spring, because you got to look at all the transfers that came in. Chedaduzi Nwaku from Houston, Anquan Barnes from Alabama, Quincy Wiggins from LSU. They've been some huge additions to that defensive line. Now, also, Colorado got, guys returning with some experience like Shane Coates, Chaz Wallace, J.J. Hawkins, and Amari McNeil. So the group appears to be much improved. In the most recent episode that they showed on that docuseries, it showed, everybody that's involved. Now, also, they got some edge rushers that came in. They got, Keaton Wade from Kentucky, Samuel Okolu from Pittsburgh, and then they also added freshmen Eric Brantley and Brandis Davis Swain, Arden Walker, Jeremiah Brown, Dave Harris, Kahari Mans. They all returned. And also Taji McCoy. So that defensive line is going to be much upgraded. Also, you got the big boy in the middle, the defensive tackle, and Bishop Thomas. So that was great to see him added back to the spring roster. So I guess they have lifted the suspension because he's been added, off into the spring roster. Now, the guys are getting prepared for this spring roster. Also, that the defensive side of the ball is stacked, man. You got to look at the linebackers that they have. Levante Bentley returns after having a really good season. They landed Florida's. They landed some transfers. They got, they got guys. B.J. Green. I mean, they got guys that are dogs on the team. Then also, you got the cornerbacks, man. You got the cornerbacks. It starts with Travis Hunter, of course. Then you got the sophomore. Hopefully we can get that breakout season that we want from Cormani McClain. Then also they went out and got transfer Preston Hodge, Amarian Cooper, Carter Stottmeyer. And they some talented, cornerbacks that are slated to return. And then also the safeties. You got Shiloh Sanders. That's the big guy. But also, the thing about it is the offensive line is fully improved. You got Jordan Seaton down in the trenches. And it's going to be an exciting season for Colorado. This up-and-coming spring football season, we'll know what, Colorado can do because their names look good on paper. But we want to see if they can perform on that field. But as far as Tarvarish Dawson, he's noticeably missing from that spring roster. And also, Bishop Thomas was included. So that is an upgrade for Colorado's defense. But as far as Tarvarish Dawson, when the information comes along, we'll pass it along to you guys. But right now, Tarvarish Dawson, he is missing from that spring roster. And also, Colorado is still loaded on offense with the guys that they brought in, all the transfers, all the commits, and also the vow to keep Shedeur Sanders upright. The offensive line has been, retooled, and hopefully, they can keep him upright. And I did a show about, Shedeur Sanders at the Super Bowl when he was doing his Gatorade commercial. He did his bottle, and the mantra on there was DT2, don't touch 2. And one of my viewers said that basically came from, the offensive linemen. They gave him that mantra, DT2. So if that's true, the offensive lineman gave Shedeur Sanders that mantra, DT2, don't touch 2. I appreciate that feedback from one of my viewers that, told me about that information. So we do appreciate that. We appreciate all the feedback. That makes the channel grow, and that helps, for me to provide better content when we're talking about these Colorado Buffaloes. So I appreciate all the engagement. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments section about, Tarvarish Dawson missing from the spring roster, and also Bishop Thomas has been added to the spring roster. So please post your comments down below. Please share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.